Hello everyone, welcome back to more incredible stuff, and we are going into the underwater station this time around.
I am not doing that again.
Hey, this must be Doug's underwater power and pressure plant.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so Doug is... maybe I've just never paid attention, or maybe I missed it earlier in the last video when they were explaining it or something, but they've never really explained Doug to my, how they know him, or, what his deal is, as far as I know. But he is a robot friend of Mr. Incredible and Frozone. He's some sort of robotic ally amid all of this shit. I think he's like a science robot, because there are scientists who have been trapped in these facilities. I don't know. I mean, I've only ever been interacting with fucking robots in this game, so I don't know what's actually going on in these facilities. I'm just interacting with their henchmen to protect it all. But yeah, this is the sort of last actual level before we go up against the big man himself. Not to spoil anything, but yeah, the next video is going to be the last one of this run. Isn't that exciting? And then I'll start up on... Well, actually, no, right away I won't. I guess I'll talk about that a little bit, since it is coming up soon. As you all know, the holiday season is upon us, and I don't live where my family lives, so I go to visit them every year for Christmas. And this year I'm leaving a lot earlier than I have the last several years, because the last couple years I've been in school, and so they always manage to give me my last final exam on the very last day that they could have final exams, which was always December 22nd. So I was always coming to, back home right before Christmas, but this time around, since I can, and because I don't have a job holding me down at the moment, my family wants me to come down a little bit earlier and go to the extended family Christmas thing that we have. And so I'm leaving out of here a week from tomorrow when this video will be uploaded, so on the 20th. And so I'm gonna try my best to have some stuff recorded for the week. I'm probably not gonna upload on Christmas Day or anything, but I'd like to have... There are at least 2 videos off the top of my head that I wanted to try to squeeze in before the end of the year. Or more like 3 or 4 now that I'm thinking about it, but 2 at the very... There are 2 that literally, I have them ready, I just need to record the audio for them, and there are things making me not do that yet, or why I haven't done them yet. And that was a pretty dumb idea on my part. I thought that maybe I could at least get a couple licks of damage in with the Incredislam move, but apparently not. But anyway, so this is gonna be finishing up next Tuesday, I suppose, at this rate, and then I don't want to start any other full runs, even of smaller games, quite yet. Yeah, this is such bullshit when it does that shit. And I'm hanging on by a slither of health. And yeah, now I have to do it all by myself, because Mr. Incredible's fucking dead. But then you reap all the benefits. You get all of the health and shit, so that's cool. Anyway, and then, yeah, I have another one of those sort of one-off browser game videos sort of on the back burner that I'm waiting to put up, and that'll probably be up before I go. And then there are a couple other things I want to try to do before then. And then I have stuff for my other channel, but I mean, I won't get into that, but I'm trying to... between these 2 channels and then, my actual, creative endeavors just of my own, I say professionally or career-wise, but just as in, like, unlike this stuff which I kind of put up in my spare time and work on because it's fun and it's stuff that I like doing and there's a small audience for it, so why not? I'm talking about the stuff that I want to try to make that I actually will actively put out and try to publish and use as a means of, you know, furthering what I want to do in life. Between all of those things, I have a billion things that I'm trying to, like, squeeze in by the end of the year just so I can meet my own arbitrary self-set deadlines for shit. And I probably will not be able to do all of them because I have other, even further, just external life concerns to worry about, so we'll see how it all goes. But after that, I know what the next longer LP I'll be doing after BioShock Infinite is, but I don't really know what to do in terms of a smaller LP. I have an idea, but it's yet another licensed platform game, and so I'm wondering if people are interested in another one of those at all. And it's always hard for me to gauge, like, both, I guess more so on this channel, but also on my main channel. At this juncture, I don't have a, like, big enough audience for there to be, like, a clear consensus of where people want stuff to go all the time, which I used to have earlier when I was, you know, just making Let's Watches on the main channel, and those were getting a few more views per video. And so that's why I do stuff like when I did the poll, but I don't have to do that every single time, because then you gotta, like, wait and everything. But I am interested in knowing how, you know, what direction people are interested in for the, short LPs. If you would like, you know, a 2D game to, you know, shake things up. If you would like me to just stick on the, you know, one-off videos of, you know, single games, then those are fine. I'm fine with doing those. They're fun enough. I have to, like, the only problem is that for each of those things I have to, like, find and set up and whatever the game, which isn't a huge undertaking for most of them, especially not for the browser games, but, like, there are some, like, old PC games I'd want to check out, but those I would have to, like, the most economical way for me to do them, and probably the safest way for me to do them, would be to run the CDs in a virtual machine. But then I would have to get the CD-ROM for it, so I don't know. I've just been thinking about that stuff, so I don't know. If you're interested, weigh in after the new year, after the Christmas stuff. Where do you want to get stuff going? Because the main game I'm going to be doing after BioShock Infinite is another licensed game, so I don't know if I just want to have two of those going at once. But they are very different. But I'm trying to establish a thing where I have a contrast of moods and types of games going at once. I don't want to, you know, be too one note with these videos, because that's the other thing. I can't really tell if people aren't interested in a game I'm doing until I start uploading it and, like, 2 people watch every video. And I still get that one hater. Dude, I don't know if it's the same person, but I always get 1 dislike before I get any likes on all of my videos on this and my other channel. Like, within an hour of me uploading it, every time, like clockwork. And so, someone is just really fucking annoyed with all of the content that I'm putting out lately. Which, you know, it's fine. Yeah, this part's kind of annoying. You have to freeze these boys. And yeah, I was trying to freeze that dude so Mr. Incredible could punch him, but he kept getting my fucking way. But yeah, you have to get these so that you can blow these up, or else it won't let you progress. So, those are important.
I got your badge, you big bag of bolts.
excuse me, I dropped the pen that I hold in my hand in a lot of my videos, which no one has ever pointed out, I don't think, but yeah, you can sometimes hear it in my hand, you can see it in my hand in my movie review videos on the other channel. I hold a pen or pencil in my hand and wag it around sometimes because I'm an antsy fuck, and I have an awful attention span, and I need to be moving constantly, or I get antsy when I'm just sitting. And I dropped the pen, and fucking, I had to look for it. It went under the depths under my desk. Does anyone else do that? Do you, like, just need something to be in your hand while you're just sitting around? I don't know why, it's just like a... It's not like if I don't, then I like, freak out and I start, you know, foaming at the mouth or anything, but just, you know, just an anxious thing. Could really use some help, Mr. Incredible, with those big old fists of yours, you fucking moron. Not a helpful superhero at all. And he's always just standing directly in the line of fire of every enemy, which is why he dies all the time. Because I've played as Mr. Incredible with Frozone being the CPU before, and Frozone, he freezes stuff, and he goes out, he punches enemies that you're punching, and tries to get them away from you, and he actually does stuff. He plays the game. So I don't know why they program Mr. Incredible to be this big lug, this big dumb hunk of meat that, you know, just stands around and takes 5 of these stink bug bullets in the face, and you know, he doesn't lift things voluntarily. You have to switch to him and lift stuff up, but Frozone will start freezing shit without your input sometimes. I don't know what it is. And these lights, there's always a part of me that wants to never let these lights be triggered, because of the Over the Hedge game. All of the levels that have spotlights that turn on lasers, which I've talked about before as being a very prevalent thing in a lot of kids' games, at least when I was growing up, is, you know, like security systems with lots of lasers. Mission Impossible, I suppose, popularized it. But yeah, Over the Hedge, all the levels that have those, they're secondary goals if you want to get 100% completion, and you can never trigger a spotlight, and it's very easy to do because they're big spotlights. But yeah, this level I haven't really been talking about all that much because it's not all that interesting. It is the big place underneath wherever Mr. Guy is, Underminer. That was probably an unnecessary use of that super move, but I haven't really been making much use of them anyway. They only are really useful to me when you're, like, in a big mess of robots and it's gonna take like 40 minutes to beat all of them up, or just be a pain in the ass. And I liked doing it there because I could, you know, see, look at that, I'm not playing as him and he's freezing stuff while I'm doing things. Like, that's how you be a team player, Mr. Incredible. But yeah, there's just not a whole lot that's super cool about the level. So I did one thing that I thought about when I was playing through this was I wish that they made video game adaptations of like kids movies and animated movies as frequently as they did when I was a kid. I've said this, I know that I've talked about this in an LP video already before, but I feel like I don't like have objective proof, but I feel like I have looked at like lists of the major release games of the year, most years that I have been alive, and I just don't think there are nearly as many like full games, like console games available for consoles, based on games based on kids movies nowadays. At the most, you get like a mobile game or like a handheld game on the DS or something, but I don't see them making, because I mean, like, The Incredibles got 2, even though it's one movie, and because I mean this came out within a year of the movie coming out. And then what else? I don't know, like, just like bullshit ass movies got games made out of them. I mean, they were made by big studios. I'm thinking stuff like Flushed Away and whatnot, and Robots, Ice Age, The Meltdown, like a Barnyard, The Ant Bully, like all these nothing movies that are just kind of like, you know, not great movies or anything, but some of the games are pretty decent actually, at least as far as licensed games go. Because the reason I like licensed games is because it's, I don't want to say they're like the McDonald's of games, but I guess they kind of are. They're just made on a pretty short time span, but I don't know, there are some that I can tell they were still made by people. Battle for Bikini Bottom is a big one. And they still feel like games that, you know, people cared about making them when they were making them. You know, making them fun and good, and they are fun and at least, like, creative. They're usually just kind of limited technically. And, you know, maybe not as polished as your average game, and they're usually pretty short and pretty easy. But I don't know, they're enjoyable, and they're nice, and I just feel like there aren't quite as many of them. I'm gonna let Doug talk and explain. Maybe I'll get some answers.
I sent them? No. I wanted them out of here. I was just about to take a nap when they all rushed in.
Yeah, we know all about this evil power station.
I see. Well, I don't really have anything to do with running things. I am quite aware of the substantial energy and pressure needed for the Underminer's corruptorator. The machine is nearly as big as one of the top-side cities. The scientists and former prisoners up there run the place, against their will, of course. They come down here to adjust things.
I think our next stop on this little underworld tour is to visit that monstrosity.
I think you're right.
Help me get to the scientist's back door, and I will tell you how to stop the corruptorator.
Yeah, the corruptorator is the... I guess that's the next actual last level before the Underminer shit. This is, not. This is the penultimate, I suppose. But yeah, there's gonna be an edit here because it took me like 4 tries to do this because I didn't exactly get... There are just parts where I have to clear the path for him and everything, and there's one part, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you have to turn off a thing and it turns on the lasers and they start moving forward, and that destroys a robot, but then you have to stop them by doing something else a little bit before it, but after you've, you know, activated the lasers so that they don't hit Doug, and if you fuck up then you have to start from the beginning and whatever. I remember hating this part as a kid. I remember thinking this part was hard as shit for some reason. Any kind of like escort, like keep the dude safe missions in video games I hated as a child. I usually thought they were pretty hard. It's not too bad though. Once you pay attention and actually know what the fuck you're doing, it's not all that bad. But anyway, like I was saying, yeah, I feel like it would be good because I see there are a lot of kids movies and animated movies, and just like there are also just like blockbuster movies, just stuff that, you know, comes out that I see that doesn't really, they aren't necessarily good movies, but they have worlds and characters or whatever that I think could make decent licensed games. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now, but yeah, I don't know. It was just, you know, add it to the, you know, chuck it onto the pile of things that I miss that aren't really valuable or, you know, particularly special or whatever, but I just, they are pleasant and they make me feel good and I want them to still be around. Yeah, this is the part I was talking about. You gotta get this thing destroyed before it hurts Doug. I was messing that up a million times, but now we got it because I'm the gamer master. But yeah, so we're just trucking along here. But yeah, I know. But I hope I hope people don't get too sick of the licensed games. I know most people seem to enjoy the licensed LPs that I've done. I know Scooby-Doo wasn't the more popular one. But that's okay. I mean, it was kind of a ho-hum sort of game to begin with.
Okay, Doug. We got you through safely and in working order.
And when I said earlier that, like, I sometimes wish I had a bigger audience, I don't at all mean that I want to be, like, a big YouTubesman. It'd be kind of a big pain in the ass. I think the max that I'd ever want for, like, my main channel is probably, like, 50,000 subscribers. That's a really good middle to me. Anything over 100,000 and you are now, like, a YouTube public figure and you have, like, thousands of people to answer to that are bitching at you all the time, that sounds like it sucks ass. But 50K, I don't know, that's small enough to still be an intimate sort of fan base, but big enough that you could get decent feedback, you could be able to gauge a sort of general consensus of where people want you to be going and everything. And that's basically all I want, is that I want enough people that I feel like I have a good audience that, you know, enjoys what I do and looks forward to what I put out. And that can give me feedback on the stuff that I do, but not so much that I, you know, feel like I'm at risk of being swatted if I don't do what people want, if I don't play the games they want. Anyway, next time is the last thing. We're going to go to the Corrupt Raider and then fight the Underminer. See you then for that.